Hey guys, so today we're going to be doing a review on the Gunslinger. 2018 is a new year, and I feel like it's a great idea to review classes individually and see how they're doing in the current meta. Also, it helps newer players because I feel like most reviews on classes are kind of dated. And the thing is, Blade Soul is an MMORPG, and it's always changing. You know, it's not like a single player game, so it's always going to have nerfs and buffs to different classes. And I feel like it's really critical to always do like updated reviews and guides, and there's not a lot of them on YouTube. So I figured I'd kind of start this series. If you guys enjoy it, you know, I'll probably do other classes too, just for fun. I do like doing this type of stuff. Anyways, you know, let's get started. So the Gunslinger has the top burst and DPS in the game currently, which makes them overall the top damage class. They also are the most popular class in the game for a couple reasons. People love playing the strongest classes, and since gunners have the highest damage, it's naturally going to draw people to them. And that's not only for Blade and Soul, that's really for like any game period. If people want to play the strongest things, that's just natural, you know. Personally, I'm against this, as Blade and Soul is always changing, which means that a class that's the strongest right now can be nerfed like at any point, and a class that is the weakest might get like some huge buff and change it. So honestly, if you're playing a class that you only are playing it for it being strong, it's really a bad idea. AKA, you know, like the Fire Blade Master buffs. I remember when I don't know if some of you guys might not know, but they buffed a fire build for Blade Master a while back, like really strong, and it made it like super OP. Like they're doing crazy damage. And eventually they made another patch and they weakened it, but you know, that's a little extreme. You know, most classes don't get that huge of a buff like they did for that one. But I'm just saying, like, classes are always changing, so it's a really bad idea to just choose a class because you think it's really strong right now. Also, Blade and Soul gets really grindy, like really grindy once you get like Raven and your BT accessories and stuff like that. Like, they have made it easier for newer players, but it's still grindy eventually. And if you're investing all your time in a class that you only play because it's strong, it's gonna really backfire, trust me. Especially if they nerf it, you're gonna be really upset. So really, just a tip, just play the classes you enjoy. Try out a few classes. So easy to level classes nowadays, and I just really recommend playing a class that you enjoy, because you never know, you might get some crazy buff and hey, now your class is the #1 class in the game and you were the original person who played it. So definitely recommend it. Another reason why they're so popular is they're very easy to learn and play. They're not super complicated to learn like a Kung Fu Master or Assassin, and they don't need extremely low ping. Of course, if you have super high ping, it's gonna suck for any class, but you don't need like really low ping like a Kung Fu Master, because Kung Fu Masters, they need a lot of great timing to tank right and DPS right, and if you have low ping and you're not experienced on the class, you're gonna be almost useless. So they're very easy to learn and play, which makes them very appealing for new players, which is another reason why they're so popular. And honestly, it's really hard to not find a Gunslinger in a party. Like, I always at least have one in a party, honestly. So they're very popular for sure. Also, the Gunslinger class is getting some nerfs, as they've received them in Korea already, which means eventually they'll be coming to North America and Europe, of course. The nerfs are not too crazy, and they're not going to kill the class or anything. They just tone down some of the damage, especially in fire build. Things like crossfire-based damage got decreased. Also on load-based damage got decreased, and they also removed the additional damage on crossfire when you have Tombstone up, which is like your big buff for yourself. And a few other nerfs, which when you look at it, it might sound bad, but I've seen a lot of videos on Gunner post-nerf, and they still do an insane amount of DPS, so it's not going to really affect the class too much. It's just some necessary nerfs to make them not so crazy. As for the builds, both seem in a pretty decent state, but from my knowledge, Fire is a little bit stronger at max gear. At least in Korea, I've seen a lot of people talking in Korea that Shadow build kind of falls off. For North America and Europe, I'm pretty sure they're pretty even right now. But overall, my personal opinion is I enjoy Fire a little bit more. It feels more fun to play, and it's a little more interactive to me than Shadow build. Also, Shadow build, one good thing about Shadow build though is, in my opinion, the effects look cooler to me. Like, it just looks more fun with the shadow and everything like that. I like the looks more, but overall Fire just feels better to play. So usually I almost always play Fire build, but I'm not too geared, so I could kind of switch between. Once honestly you get more geared, you kind of have to pick and choose a build, but overall, they're both in a pretty decent state. Again, just like classes, I recommend playing what build you enjoy. If you really hate fire build, but you think it's going to be stronger, so you play fire build, don't do that. Play shadow build, you know, and vice versa. So that's what I kind of recommend. Overall, honestly, the gunner is here to stay. They'll always be one of the top DPS classes just because that's really all they do. They don't have like a soul burn. They don't have any tanking capabilities or any like party buffs. They're really just a pure damaging class. So they're always going to have good DPS no matter what. So if you're looking for a solid range DPS class that's easy to pick up and learn, I definitely recommend giving them a shot. No pun intended. So really, that's my thoughts on the gunner. And thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.